Oh, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of First Canada Live. It's going to be a great show tonight, everyone. We have lots of fun stuff happening. And before we get started, it's important as Canadians to recognize the land of which we are a part. As we gather for this meeting, physically dispersed and virtually constructed, let us take a moment to reflect upon the meaning of place, and in doing so, recognize the various traditional lands on which we celebrate today. We acknowledge the elders and youth, past, present, and emerging of all the land on which we work and live. We honor the ancestral spirits with gratitude and respect. We acknowledge this land out of respect for the Indigenous nations who have cared for Turtle Island, also called North America. The Indigenous people have been gifted the role of caretakers of this land before the arrival of settler peoples until today. But most importantly, we remember the history of these lands and people that have been tainted by poor treatment and a lack of friendship with the First Nations who called Canada home before it was given this name. This history is something that everyone is affected by. We are all treaty people in Canada. We all have a shared history to reflect on, and each of us is affected by this history in many different ways. Our past defines our present, but if we move forward as friends and allies, it does not define our future. All right, folks, I'm your host, Karthik Aaron S, and we are excited for another fun episode of First Canada Live. I have a lot of cool stuff happening, so let's not waste any time. Let me introduce my co-host for tonight, a student on FRC Team 5024, Writer Robotics from London, Ontario, and a member of the First Canada Youth Council. Let's meet Aaron. Hey, how's it going, Aaron?
Great. I'm happy to be here.
How is your first robotics competition season going?
It's going. We don't have any competitions yet that are coming up super soon, but I'm really excited to see how our team does this year, especially coming back to our usual size and numbers.
Right. So, your team, 5024 Radar Robotics, affectionately known as Beal after your high school.
Yep.
Normally in prior years, sometimes you bring like 100 people to events, and everyone knows like when 5024 is in a match, actually not just when 5024 is in a match, when anyone's in a match, because you're really good at cheering for everyone. Just this wave of yellow and all this noise. So is that back this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've been teaching the new members how to yell really well.
How many people are you bringing to events this year?
Our team's looking like 65, I think. About yeah. So big numbers again. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you get 65 people to an event? That's more than one bus. You like take two buses? Like
with great skill, I guess.
That's fair. That's a good answer. That's a good answer right there. So, Aaron, on tonight's show, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have a recap of the First Tech Challenge Provincial Championship, which happened this past weekend in Scarborough. So that's going to be really fun. And we've even got the Inspire Award-winning team from that event who's going to be on the show, team from Dr. Batu Collegiate. So that's going to be good. We have some first robotics competition robot reveal videos. We'll be checking out some of the teams to see what they have. And of course, we have a discussion with some of our first robotics competition head referees who have some advice for teams getting ready for the season. Aaron, if you have any questions about the rules or whatever, now is the time to get them out there. So that'll be really, really good. So anyone out there watching live on Twitch, if you have any questions for any of our segments, especially our head referees, drop them into the chat and we'll do our best to try and answer them live on the air. And also remember, folks, we're here to celebrate excellence in our community and have some fun. So let's stay positive and let's do this right. So to get things started, Aaron, it's time for our Youth Council Wellness Moment. So what's your tip for all of our audience today?
For sure. I know it's been cold out, but it is really important for us to, get outside, get some fresh air. Especially right now, I know we're past exams, but starting a new semester and having a lot of assignments, we're staring at screens all day, sitting inside. It's just a short walk or a couple minutes outside can make a really big difference when especially feeling overwhelmed with a lot of things happening and the end of build season and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think especially like if you are you're just like cramming for an exam or working on a project and you're just like on your laptop all night long or whatever, all day long, just getting outside for 5 minutes, just like walk up and down the street just to get some fresh air, hopefully some sunlight, but maybe we can't always guarantee that, but just some fresh air, breathe, get a little bit of exercise in. It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
At events, I like to, just like a little downtime in between matches or whatever. I like to go outside for a 5 minute walk, just get a blast of air, kind of wakes you up. It's like, okay, yeah. Cause like, sometimes at events, like, you load in, you're there at 8 o'clock and you're there all the way until 6 p.m. As a team. That's a lot of time indoors. Like I need some outside,
Oh yeah.
I
But
honestly, I think the best thing about being a kid, and maybe we need to do it just for adults as well, is recess. Recess was
yes,
great, right? You just like
agreed.
you had to go outside. You got to go outside. You played some foot hockey, or you played, some soccer, baseball, or whatever, or you ran around, and it was great. We all need some recess in our lives, so that's a
Should bring that
fabulous
back.
wellness moment. Yeah, I'm all about bringing back recess. Now it's time for our news updates. Aaron, we got a lot of things going on. First off, First Canada Live. So we've been going every other week for the last little while, but now that FRC season is starting, we're going to be going every week where there's an event. The next Tuesday, we will be back right after the event doing a recap of the two events that happened. So this weekend, we got our FRC events in Newmarket and Georgian. And then on Tuesday night, we're going to be back on the show with some of the MCs, game announcers, and other volunteers who were at the event, talking about what happened at the events. We'll go into some match videos, going over the best strategies, what's most effective, what's working, what's not, so teams can kind of see. And also, like Aaron, you're lucky this weekend. You can watch both events from home.
Yeah,
But
I'm excited.
for people who are at Georgian, they might not know what's happening in Newmarket. And people who are at Newmarket might not know what's happening in Georgian. That's why you tune into First Canada Live on Tuesday to get the update, to get the scoop, the inside story. So that's going to be great. So make sure you check that out. And if you're on our channel right now, it's like, well, how am I going to get notified about this? Subscribe, hit the like button, the bell, click everything. Just click everything, and
Hit
then
all
you'll get
those
the
buttons.
notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't click, except the block one. Don't do that one.
Yeah,
That's
no, no, no.
yeah. Also, Aaron and I talked about it. In-person events are back for all programs. That's right. It's going to be you bring your friends, bring your family, bring everyone you want to the event. But if you are bringing someone, just remind them masks are still required. So make sure that everyone's masking up and we're staying safe. But bring everyone out to events. It'll be good. We still got some scholarships open. Almost all of them are closed, but the First Canada Indigenous Scholarship is still open to any grade 12 Indigenous student in a First Canada program. The deadline is March 31st. So if you're eligible, apply, or if you're not eligible, tell your friends who are eligible, apply. It's a great opportunity. Aaron, are you familiar with the bronze safety badge?
Yes, I am.
You have a bronze safety badge?
Yeah, I don't have the badge, but I've done the test. Yeah.
Okay. So if you've done the test, folks, bring your test results to the swag table at an event. Show them off to swaggy people. I'll keep it, and you will get your badge right there. And if you haven't taken the test yet, well, number one, do it so you can get a badge. But number two, do it because it's really important, because safety is like our top priority at first. So if you want to learn about that, the link has been dropped in the chat where you can take your quiz. Also, folks, speaking of quizzes, it's not exactly a quiz, but everyone who's going to events this year, your robots are going to be inspected, and you cannot practice or play until your robot passes inspection. But if you want to get a head start on passing inspection, review the inspection checklist before events. So this will make your inspection process way faster, way smoother. The link is in chat. Download that, go through it. Students, like, get in front of your robot, get your programmers, your mechanical people, your electrical people all together and be like, have we done this? Check. Have we done this? And if you haven't done something on it, got time to get it done. And then if you're struggling with that checklist or struggling with anything at first and you have a question, come on over to the Ontario Team Slack, where you can get advice from teams from all over the province and First Canada staff and our key volunteers. They're all in there. So the link to join Slack is popping in the chat in just a second. And of course, if you are a First Canada alumni, you want to make sure you join the First Canada Alumni LinkedIn group, because there's all sorts of opportunities in there. There is no better professional network than the First Alumni Network. You'll be connected to alumni from recent alumni from now, or alumni from all the way back in 1998. Now, those people must be old, right, Aaron? Right?
Oh yeah.
They're super old. It's me. I'm the problem. All right. Well, those are our news updates today. We got an action-packed show coming on, and we're going to jump right into it. But first, we'll take a look at a word from one of our sponsors, 3M.
So first robotics competition is the epitome of the robotics competitions here in Canada. It's an opportunity for high school students to get involved in the engineering design of an entire robotic system.
People think robotics is all about building the robot, right? But building the robot is only half the challenge. Building the robot is actually a vehicle for you to build your own self.
For our Canadian manufacturers to stay competitive, there's a lot of automation and robotics that have to go into our manufacturing facilities. So the skills that the kids are learning in this competition hit that mark spot on.
There's definitely the technical ones. You know, I've learned how to do CAD design. I've learned how to work machines. But one of the really, really big ones that I really like is and I think it's really important in this world, is I've learned how to work with a team. Without being able to work as a team going into industry, it's not going to work out.
There are absolutely skills that the students are using today that are things that we use in professional careers that have to do with STEM. They are learning how to communicate, they're learning how to collaborate, they're learning how to think outside the box so that they're not limiting themselves to one thing. They're getting to do coding, marketing, design, engineering, science, the whole 9 yards all together.
It really teaches you all these different skills that you wouldn't think that you would know. It teaches you, how to work with other people, how to do soft skills, communication, teamwork, leadership, all that kind of stuff.
Some of our alumni have gone on to receive excellent scholarships at top-tier universities, and because of that, they've started getting known well by top-tier companies, which allows our brand to carry on as they work for large technological companies in the programming sector, in the automation sector. It's really interesting to see where we end up.
All right, we are back, and now it's time for our first segment. So we're going to bring out our first guest. She is a First Canada alum and the First Canada program manager for the First Tech Challenge, Lisa Ramraj. Hello, Lisa. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I am great, Lisa, but I got to ask you, you must be exhausted because you just came off of running the incredibly successful First Tech Challenge Provincial Championship at Centennial College.
Yep. Took a day to sleep for sure. But it was super exciting and could not have done it without the amazing staff and all the amazing volunteers. They really put together an amazing event, and I think the teams had a great time. And it was really cool to finally see it come together.
So, Lisa, I want to know, what was your favorite part of the event?
The confetti.
Okay. So explain this to our audience. What happened with the confetti?
So we had we wanted to make the finals really exciting and really special. So we had a bunch of confetti cannons set up around the field right for that final score. Two of them happened to go off at the absolute exact same time, which was wonderful. One of them was being held by Karthik, so he's really proud of that. And the other one kind of went off a little bit later, but it was, still in sync. So it was still really cool, but I just love the energy that the confetti brings. And it makes it really colorful. But yeah, just seeing the teams play, have fun, interact with each other at such a high level was really great.
I really love seeing the teams collect their confetti afterwards. They just wanted to have their souvenirs right there. So that's always a good one. I have a souvenir jar of confetti right here from last year's FRC Provincial Championship. One of the youth council members gave this to me. It was a really, really nice souvenir to have. And Lisa, from the event, there were two teams who advanced to the first championship. The Winning Alliance captain, team 16417, ROC or ROC from Richmond Hill. This is their fourth consecutive time winning the First Tech Challenge Provincial Championship. They won it in 2020 in person, 21 and 22 remote, and now 23 in person. So that's a huge accomplishment, right?
Absolutely wild.
It's they are it's almost like there's a 2056 of First Tech Challenge right there. That is
starting
pretty,
a new
cool.
streak.
And the second team who won the Inspire Award. They're actually the first team that qualifies because the Inspire Award is the highest award in First Tech Challenge. They're actually here right now. So let's bring them on to the show. So they are Team 19498 Devilotics from Scarborough, Ontario, and we got their student members Evan, Ninja, Jim, and Luthera. Hello, Devilotics.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
How's everyone? Sorry, I'm laughing at the chat here. Praneet just got silenced in chat. That's hilarious. Welcome, Devilotics. First off, congratulations, because like that was a huge accomplishment. And I want to know, first of all, it's hilarious that you all have the trophies at home. Like, Luthera, do you want to duck your head to the side there so we can see the banner? There we go. We got a banner right there. Who's got the red trophy? Who's got the red trophy? Evan's got the red trophy right there. Who's got the plaques? Okay, there we go, Jim. Everyone's got it. Everyone's got it. That is wild. Just racking up the W's all over the place. So my first question, what was it like when you found out you won? Because I don't think I've ever seen a team as excited as all of you were.
Oh, we actually had a member of another one of our school's teams record it, and I watched it back like 6 times this morning, because you were reading out the description of the team who won the award, and then you got to a part where we knew for sure it was us because you mentioned STEM Alliance, and we all went crazy. And then you turned around and you said it could be anyone.
You know, I gotta like maintain the suspense for the audience, you know.
And
So like, what would have happened if there was another team who had a STEM Alliance? What would you have done?
That would be embarrassing.
Imagine this. We had a few teams there that were also 1949. There's a 19496, 19491, 19490. So then, like, if you were to say, welcome, if you were to say, congratulations to our winner, 19490, and that would.
Jim, at the first robotics competition, there have been 3 moments specifically like that I can remember where you start saying a team number and it's like X, and then they're expecting Y, and you're like X, and like they start standing up expecting XXY, and then you say XXZ, and then it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's embarrassing for all. But your energy, enthusiasm, then you came full speed running across the stage. That was wild. And then you were just like jumping up and down. Lisa, I'm surprised they didn't tackle you. I was a little bit worried. Right there.
Yeah, having the banner, and there's just like, wait, don't forget this.
Well, yeah. Well, Luther didn't forget it because he took it all the way home. He's just like, yeah, I got this now. No one's ever getting that ever again, you know?
We might have broken one of the chairs. I don't know. I was watching back the recording, and I just like heard in the audio there's just the sound of a chair like falling over.
Oh my God.
That's fabulous. Hey, Aaron, you got a question for our Inspire Award winners?
Yeah, for sure. You guys, how excited are you about going to Houston? Like, that's so huge.
It feels like a movie. Like, we were in disbelief when we won it. We were just, it felt like a dream after, and we were just like, it's incredible.
Yeah, I'm still expecting to wake up tomorrow morning and have it be Saturday.
Yeah.
So did you think you had a shot at the Inspire Award?
We definitely thought that we had a shot, but
Okay.
we weren't sure about the other team's outreach efforts and the robot and how it all came together. But we knew that we had a chance.
Hey, so on that topic, a lot of our audience might not be familiar with the First Tech Challenge, and they definitely might not be familiar with the Inspire Award. So just wonder if you want to explain what the Inspire Award recognizes. So it's the topmost honor in the First Tech Challenge, but what does it mean?
I'll take this question. So we believe that the Inspire Award winner is someone who not only embodies a passion for robotics and STEM, science, technology, and engineering and mathematics, but they also believe that robotics is more than just robotics and more than what you build, more than what you design. And it's more about the community that you build, the friends you make, the connections you make, and the growth that you and the stages that and the skills and all the growth that you're able to go through to become the best that you can be, and also help other people be the best that they can be, and empower them to seize the moments as well and be successful as well.
That is very cool. The Inspire Award is for the team, the kind of best all around, you know, it's not just the robot, but it's community outreach and stuff. So I want to know, what do you all think is inspirational about Devilotics?
Um, I feel like our team spirit is kind of it's it's up there, right? Because all of us like in the beginning, some of us didn't know each other completely. I remember seeing Ninja's name and I didn't know it, like anything about him. I didn't even know how to pronounce his name, right? And then now we're pretty much we're the closest friends in the school, um maybe in the world, I don't know. And it just it's such a special connection, um, when you and your team can go through so much and stick together the whole time.
I mean, for me, robotics has just been so amazing. I just got to Dr. Norman Bethune, and one of the first clubs I joined was robotics. And this has actually like pretty much been my entire high school experience, just going to robotics, being around my amazing friends, and just doing this amazing challenge, just doing this every single day for the past few months.
Yeah,
And to
just
add
like
on,
just like
go
Ninja
ahead, you
said, like the experiences have also been really fun. I know that we started a YouTube channel, and I remember going around and we reached our first 100 subscribers, and I remember us looking at our phones and we were in disbelief that we reached our first 100 subscribers, and it was amazing. And we went for that 100 subscriber video. We went around downtown everywhere. We just started saying the word Devilotics in front of the most in the most public places out loud, and everyone would be just looking at us like all weird. They'd be like, why are they saying this? What is this word? They're just be super confused. And yeah, it was like, this robotics has taught me like so much about like just being out there, and taught me how to get out there and really voice my opinions. And yeah.
I love it. What did you learn from doing first robotics? Oh, I learned how to run around downtown and scream our team name. There you go.
Exactly.
That's just like right on point right there. You talked a little bit about your outreach. Jim, I know you love being asked. Tell us a little bit about the Scarborough STEM Alliance.
in fact, um, the Scarborough STEM Alliance is a local nonprofit organization that our team decided to found as part of our outreach efforts. It all actually started while we were on our excursion downtown for our 100 subscriber special, acting like mad lads. So, in fact, like we were just fooling around kind of downtown, and then like we were also reminded by the fact that all the universities, all the people we were able to meet like downtown, like they're all very passionate individuals. Like we just came back from the Ontario University Fair, and all these passionate people, they just came together and they're able to build these amazing things and solve these critical road issues that are affecting so many people. And then we were reminded of the time we spent mentoring our younger FLL teammates as well. So then when we were mentoring them, we realized that many of them didn't have the STEM opportunities that we did when we were in FLL and grade 7. So we decided to start this organization to bring the teams in Scarborough, our local area, together to hopefully together we will be able to do much more together to help empower the community and help people get into robotics better than they would alone. Because alone we could do is only so much, but together we could do so much more than we can alone. And thus far, SSA has grown to over 77 delegates from teams across Ontario, and we've been able to form partnerships with businesses, institutions, and the Toronto Public Library to conduct workshops at local elementary schools and institutions for over 140 youth so far. By the end of our season, we hope to continue our work with SSA and to reach across the community and spread the mission of FIRST. And by the end of June, we hope to empower at least 500 youth by then and grow our membership to over 20 teams.
Wow, that is fantastic. That is just so impressive, everything you put together, on the outreach side in the midst of building a robot. But Lisa, I got a question for you that's going to help out our friends at Devilotics. You've been to Worlds many times, and you were at the championship last year in Houston. Do you have any advice for them for Houston?
Talk to teams. Take this opportunity to go around. I know it's like super tense. You want to work on your robots. You want to like focus on your matches and stuff, but take this opportunity to go around the pits for FTC, for FLL, and for FRC and meet teams. make connections, see what their robots like, see what their outreach is like, ask them questions. It's such a great opportunity to see how other people approach the same problem as you did, because you've been playing in Ontario this entire season. I think you probably went to both of, no, you went to Kingston and your own Scarborough event. So like you got to see the different robots that way. But just going to Worlds is so different. And Ontario is such a new region. So we've only been doing this for a few years. So seeing how the established teams who've been doing this for a lot longer, how they approach robots and where they are and like their how they schedule their season, how they do prototyping, how they do practice, all of that stuff. Learn as much as you can, and then bring it back to Ontario and share it with the rest of our teams. We want to use this opportunity to elevate all of our teams in Ontario. And the more you learn about the entire First Tech Challenge community by going to Worlds and bring it back and share with everyone, the faster and better our whole own region will become. So then you'll be playing even more intense matches at Provincials next year, which will be super entertaining to watch.
That is absolutely amazing advice, Lisa. And I think it pairs well with your outreach in the Scarborough STEM Alliance, because you're going to take back everything you've learned and you're going to share it with all these, these 20-member teams and, through the workshops and everything you're going to do. And you're going to be so pumped for next season. And, I know some of you are graduating, but it's important to understand that graduating in first doesn't mean the journey ends. There's lots of ways to be involved as alumni. So, you're going to want to, get linked up with us in that respect. And you could be volunteers at events. You could be team mentors. There's loads and loads of things that you can do. So that's really, really cool. Aaron, I'm wondering if you have any other questions for our friends.
I'm just wondering, now that I've heard about your 100 followers going out and doing something crazy like that, going downtown, is there anything else other than hitting that goal that you were really proud of this season? Other than winning the Provincials, of course.
I was just gonna say.
Well, something that happened this year, it actually happened at our Kingston event. At that time, we were actually able to score the highest point game for FTC, which was 224, which actually only happened to last like 2 hours, 1 hour, something like that, where we just got beat once again. But that moment, we were so happy. It was almost like the Inspire where we were jumping up and down, just overly excited. And I think that just perfectly embodies like our entire team. We're so close together, and every single victory that we get, we take it so far beyond just like what a normal person would do.
I remember after that match, our entire team went outside in like the snowy weather, wearing t-shirts. We're just celebrating. I don't know. Because I didn't notice until later on that we were just wearing t-shirts the whole time, and then we went back in. And I was like, wait.
That's called adrenaline right there. That's called adrenaline right there. Hey, Devilotics, before we go here, because we are running out of time, I want to know anything that you'd like to tell the audience, anything you'd like to say, any people you'd like to thank on your award. This is your Academy Awards speech moment here.
Okay, people to thank. List is very long. Our amazing coach and mentor, Mr. Liu, our principal, Mr. Scott, all of our mentors, our entire team, the 3 other teams that are school, every single other team that was at the Provincial and just in Ontario in general. Of course, the entire First Canada organization. Thank you guys so much. My life has been enriched by like 10 times just for this one competition. I'm so grateful that we could be part of this experience.
I can speak for everyone at First Canada. We are grateful to have students like you, teams like yours in this program. You make this better for everyone, especially the fact that you work so hard to share all you've learned with others. It's just fantastic. You're a shining example of everything that's right and first, and gracious professionalism and core values. And I can say this for sure, all of Ontario is going to be cheering you on in Houston. We're so excited for you. Can't wait to see you down there and maybe see you at an event sometime soon before then. Thank you, Devilotics. Thank you for coming on, and we will we will see you somewhere soon. And to the rest of our audience, we will be back in a moment with some robot reveal videos after this word from one of our sponsors, Rockwell. Aaron, don't you just love Devilotics? They have so much energy.
Yes. Oh my God, they reminded me of our own team. Like
That-
when they
that's
said
ex-
team spirit and how much they just were so close. I was just like, I connected with that so much.
Honestly, that's what I was going to come back to this segment to say. They remind me a little bit of Beal, that same sort of
Yeah.
energy, positivity, always wanting to help others. That's what First is about, man. Teams like that give me the goosebumps, man. It makes me like that. That's what this is all about. It's so special. But you know what else this is all about? Robots. Like, it's not all about the robots, but man, the robots are pretty
But it is
important.
sometimes.
The
yeah.
robots are pretty cool, and we're here to check out some robots because our first robotics competition season in Ontario is starting on Saturday. Actually, did you know it started globally already? Israel had their first district event. They had their finals today. No surprise. Orbit and 1577 Miskar won together. Powerful alliance, the powerhouses of Israel. They went through the double elimination bracket undefeated. So they were the first team to win an event by only playing 5 elimination matches. First alliance to do that. And Jim, did you just come back? What just happened there? Okay, saw something pop up on my screen. So that was super cool. So we're ready to see some Ontario teams this weekend. But three of our teams sent us a sneak preview of their robots so we can get a little bit excited about what's going on. So before we even start looking at these robot reveals, Aaron, I want to know from you, what are you most excited about in terms of robots? What kind of robots are you looking forward to seeing this year?
I am just always so excited when competition season starts, just to see how people go about like combating this challenge in different like creative ways, and just seeing like, oh, I would have never thought of that. Just like crazy stuff that you see from some teams where it's just and it can be such a simple system sometimes, but they're so cool.
You know what I'm interested in seeing? Like, this is going to go very hyper specific. I'm curious to see how many teams in Ontario do swerve drives this year. So last year at the first championship, I forget the exact statistic, but it was something like somewhere between 60 and 70% of the teams who made the playoffs at the championship were using swerve drives. And now that there are swerve manufacturers who are making their products readily available in Canada, like Andy Mark through Studica, there's a lot of options out there. So I'm curious to see how many teams have jumped on. I don't want to ask you because I don't want you to give away your robot or anything.
I won't say anything.
Yeah, but maybe we'll see some in our videos. And just to be fair, Aaron, have you watched any of the videos in advance?
I haven't, and I'm very excited to see them.
I've only seen like 2 seconds of each of them just to make sure the audio and stuff was working, but I haven't like taken a deep dive. So first off, we'll see. I'm coughing. I'm so excited. Let's take a look at this is a robot reveal teaser video from in your neck of the woods there on Team 3739 Robotics from London, Ontario. And we will be playing this with no audio just for copyright restriction idea. So Aaron, we can just kind of talk our way over this video.
For sure.
Looks like there's carpet. So that's always a good start.
Yeah.
More carpet, tape, more tape. Oh, there's a robot, and I saw a swerve module.
That's good news.
I swear I saw a swerve module in there.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Swerve modules.
Whoa.
Looks like at least one joint on the arm, maybe a chain bar to a wrist at the bottom, and maybe there's a bottom joint. Okay. So they went arm, not elevator. That blue steel is the name of the robot.
That's cool.
That looks exciting. Looks smaller than what we're normal, which is a trend in FRC right now. Before everyone used to build to max size, 30 inches by 30 inches. This year, I think we're going to see a lot of robots that aren't necessarily full size. I think the double jointed arm is going to be a big thing this year, but it'll be interesting because, last year with the end game, the main challenge was reaching high, obviously, to get up and to climb. This year, robots don't necessarily have to reach high because the highest goal is only about 4 feet off the ground, but you have to reach like 3.5 feet, 4 feet out to reach the goal. So it's going to be so the linear elevators from the past may not be the optimal solution. Now I know a lot of teams have taken the linear elevator and angled it so they can get that horizontal reach, which I think is super smart. But it looks like Robotics went with the jointed arm, and I think that's there'll be a lot of robots like that. I think it's a good decision. I'm really excited to see
Definitely,
what Robotics has come up with, because they've been a team that's been on the rise over the years. I know 2019
Yeah.
they had a great season. I think they were the #1 seed at the Western event. And then yeah, they fantastic robot, fantastic people. You know, they're very active in the Ontario team Slack, trying to help people out always. And so just some good vibes from them. So I like that
Yep.
robot. And hey, like we said, it's Swervebot. It's a Swervebot.
Yeah.
They're going to be popping up everywhere. It's
I've been seeing a lot in those, especially week 0 matches. We were watching
yeah.
some of them, and lots of swerve.
Well, I mean, it's so useful this year, especially because if you look at the community, there's 2 entrance points at the 2 sides or whatever. And like, obviously you can go over to the charge station and get it. And a lot of teams will be good at that piece. But if your partner's already in the community, it's going to be the natural tendency to be like, okay, they're in here. I'm going to come up behind them, then swerve and go like either way. And but imagine like it's so, and like not having to turn and then turn in the community, there's a big advantage to that. Not to say there'll be plenty of tank drive robots this year who are awesome and navigate this stuff, because like tank drive is natural. Teams have been doing it for a long time. Like, don't get me wrong, no one is saying that you're toast without swerve, but I think these swerve robots will be fun to watch. And hey, man, there's nothing cooler than watching a robot go sideways, you know? So for our next team, oh, this is a good one. We got team 2200 Robotics from Burlington, Ontario. Let's talk about them for a second here. They every year come out firing at their first event. You know, last year they won 2 districts back to back right away on their first event. 2020 they came out firing and they won the Durham College event. 2019 they had an amazing. They're just like, they come out fast. They're well prepared. Another really big team, and they are so impressive. Their technical acumen, and they always do something really cool with their design. And when you look at their robots, it's like sometimes you're like, that robot looks like it should be on sale, because it's so like, it looks so professional and so well done. So let's take a look at what Robotics is up to this year. And again, this video is muted just to be safe on copyright. We don't need any takedown notifications before the streaming. Oh, telescoping arm. I'm in.
Cool.
I'm in. Oh yeah, the pink arm, baby.
Oh boy.
Pink drive. Oh, that's smooth. The automation there.
Yeah.
Oh, and they got rotation in the wrist.
Yeah.
They got rotation in the wrist so they can go forward and backwards.
Wow.
I am a 2200 fanboy.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Is their robot's name Teeter? Is that what it says on the bumper?
That's what it says there. And oh, and they've got these little devices that flip down over the bumpers as a little bit of a guidance there.
Oh.
This seems really well oiled. Oh
yeah.
Well, there. What did I just see? Right?
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, like, looks like they're doing an H drive. So they could probably they can get some sideways moments. Okay, that's what I want to see. Oh, it's a passive guidance. Cool. I love passive guidance systems. Oh, that is so smart. That's
really cool.
Freaking smart. And yeah, like if you could do an H drive, the swerve drive can be complex, but H drive is a nice way to get the extra sideways motions that you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, that robot was freaking phenomenal.
That was super cool.
and like Robotics, it was pretty cool too, but it was only still, so we didn't get to see it move. We got to see the whole thing in there. So telescoping arm, 1 massive joint, but they've got the rotary wrist, so they can score from each side. If they pick up a cone that's sideways, they can turn it 90 degrees, so they have it the right way, so they can handle cones in the multiple orientations.
And that's definitely a problem that a lot of teams were looking at the start, as far as how are we going to pick things up if they're, especially the cones, if they're on their side.
All right, I want to go to Newmarket right now because I want to watch Robotics. This is going to be fantastic. Great job to our friends in Burlington. That robot looks awesome. And also it looked well programmed already. Like there was a lot of automation, like the motion of like arm going down, telescope coming out, getting into into place or whatever.
Yeah,
That
it all
didn't
looks
look
cohesive.
Yeah, that didn't look like someone was doing that if it was someone doing that manually, hey, like that's
They're great.
you're amazing. So that is fabulous right there. Congrats to Rambotics. Should be another great robot, another great season.
Yeah.
All right. We have one final video. It's another more like a teaser video. And this one's from another up and coming team from the Toronto area, team 865 Warp 7. So let's take a look.
Oh yeah. I got bumpers.
They got bumpers. Oh, okay. Oh, I see swerve modules under there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that an scissor lift elevator? That's one's tough to decipher. It's hard to see in the package. I see like a nice roller intake. I see 4 looks like 775 Redline motors on the Andy Marks gearboxes, but I can't tell how that's elevated. Like, those 2 arms there look like it's gonna pivot up and then out.
Yeah, I think it's an angle type thing.
And then maybe a linear slide out, possibly, Aaron. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm in for it. Yeah. Thank you, Teammate 65, for sharing that with us. Thank you to all the teams who put together videos or something for us to show on the show tonight. Yeah. Praneet's saying who's going to come on our next segment, elevator 4-bar, and so that it makes sense. So it's going to kind of do the 4-bar motion, pop out, and then. So
right. That'll be cool.
That is cool. Aaron, you know what? One thing's kind of really cool about this season: design diversity. There's a lot of different designs. Like last year, it was like, okay, single flywheel shooter with an accelerator wheel on the top, kind of deal. You know, and like, not that wasn't awesome or whatever, but like there was our jumping robot, and then everything else was kind of similar. But this year, we'll see a lot of cool.
No jumping this year.
You say that. Say that,
hey,
my friend.
We'll see.
You're just saying, like, maybe you can jump onto the charge station. You know, I don't know. Hey. I can't wait to see what 4907 does. I cannot wait to see what 4907 does. It's going to be good. Okay, we're going to be back in just a second with our head referees. So let's see you in just a few moments, folks. All right, we're back. So let's introduce our guest. First off, he is a First Canada alum, new head referee in Ontario, and getting married in October. It is Rishi Jotsinghani. What up, man? How's it going?
Hey, Karthik. Hey, Aaron. I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Good. How's the wedding planning?
It's good. It's good. We have an awesome wedding planner that's really making it easy. Jessica, if anybody knows, Jessica Stacy, the event planner. But yeah, we've been going good.
I hear you have a pretty awesome MC as well.
That too. and a great flower boy or flower boys. You'll meet one of them.
All right. Next up, he is a first alum and a former head referee, longtime volunteer, great mentor, Matt Glanfield. What's up, Matt? Matt, can you say a word so I could see?
Oh, sorry. Hey,
there we go. There we go. Good.
Yeah, had that hardware mute.
Right. Welcome back to the show, Matt. It's been a while. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be back.
It's great to have you. And of course, we have a First Canada alum. He's our Ontario District Head Referee for the first robotics competition and our 2015 Volunteer of the Year Award winner, Praneet Trivedi. How's it going, man?
Hey, guys. Hey, Karthik. Aaron, Matt, Rishi. What a squad we have here. Let's go.
Bro. Congratulations on being named Flower Boy.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I am very excited at this opportunity to walk down the aisle, throw some flowers, and make the way for Rishi and Lisa to walk down. I'm excited.
But before any of that happens, you are getting married in June.
Yeah, it's a busy year. It's a busy year.
That's right. Congratulations. We're looking forward to that one.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to giving a speech there. I'm just making that happen right now.
Just assuming.
I just insinuate myself into that spot right there. But hey, folks, wedding planning aside, and also Matt, congratulations. I know you got married during the pandemic. I want to make everyone feel welcome to hear and all of that. But we're here with 3 of the most experienced referees and 3 of the most caring referees who really put the team experience first, and you really want to make things as fair as possible for the teams. And that's why you're here tonight, because you want to help go over some of the things this season that teams should be looking out for. So we got some questions ready, but I think the first thing I want to say to all of our teams is please make sure you have read your game manual and review your game manual. Anything that we're saying here is strong guidance, but the official guidance always comes from your game manual and from the official Q&A and from the drivers meeting at the event. So you can't go to Pravit. It's like, well, you said on First Canada Live. No, the official sources, game manual, Q&A, drivers meeting at events. Anything to add on that, Pravit?
No, I mean, I think just seconding whatever you're saying, Karthik, because even though what we might be following the manual today, between now and the first day of competition, there might be an update. So whatever we might talk about today might already be outdated. So keep an eye on for team updates and come in prepared for your first event. All right, Karthik, hit us with the questions.
Okay, so some things to be thinking about this year. Robots this year have extension limits. But unlike in some years, the extension limit has been like kind of standard. You can go, like last year, it was like you can go this high or whatever. But this year, the extension limits depend on where you are on the field. So can you explain how much you can extend and which zones you can do that in without being penalized?
Absolutely. Rishi, do you want to take this one?
Yeah.
Ref, first question for you.
I can take that one. So you can extend. So the weird thing about this year, so if you read through the rules, you can extend 48 inches in specific places on the field. But I just wanted to point out first, the cool thing about this year is that you can actually only extend in one direction. That's like the main thing. So usually what we used to see is like, it used to be something like 14 inches or something. And you could come out, you can have one arm coming this way, one arm coming this way. But this year specifically, it is only one direction. And the manual has like a good visual to kind of show what one direction essentially means. But that's
Harry Styles.
That is one of the One Directions. Yes.
Yeah.
And there are multiple One Directions. Yes.
I'm more of a Zayn guy.
I am as well.
Yeah. His song with Taylor Swift. Oh man.
Are you gonna see Taylor Swift this year? Potentially.
It's a possibility. We'll see.
We've been talking a lot about Taylor Swift today.
I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. We'll see how interesting Einstein is. That'll be my decision. It's like
how many Canadian teams are there?
Right. Rishi, though, you said you can only extend in one direction. Is there anywhere on the field where you can extend in multiple directions?
I believe so. I don't want to give anything because I don't know. I'm not really sure. You want to take that? I believe it's
in the community.
In the community. I didn't want to say anything wrong and like thing, but the way I think of the community is I think of it as the Wild West. Basically, like most rules don't kind of hold in the community. And so you can extend in multiple directions.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're ever like breaking the vertical plane at the opponent's zone, the loading zone or community, you should not extend anything outside of your frame perimeter whatsoever. That'll result in some penalties for your line, so don't do that.
So basically, in the opponent's zones, you can't expand at all.
No.
When you come to like midfield, you can expand in one direction, but when you can expand in Zayn or whatever, and then when you get to the community or your own loading zone, you can expand in multiple directions, but still limited to 48 inches in each. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can kind of do whatever you want in your own house, but when you're in your opponent's house, you want to be a polite guest.
Exactly. There we go.
Overreach, right?
I love the analogy right there. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're out in public, do it within reason.
Yeah. Aaron, do you got a question for our refs?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just wondering, when are you and when aren't you allowed to touch your opponent's charging station?
Ooh, that's a fun one.
There are a lot of penalties with the charging station, with the opponent's charging station, and specifically, I mean, the first thing I'll say is don't touch it in auto. That's the main thing. So there are a couple.
Yeah.
So there are like there's a rule specifically about not crossing the line in auto. You will get a foul at the midline if you will get a foul for that, and specifically not touching an opponent or a game piece on the other side or even the charge station. There are different penalties for that, and you can end up awarding the other team penalties as a result.
Exactly. Just to be a little bit more specific for that, so basically during the end game, when the little horn goes off and it's like the last 30 seconds, any of your opponent's robots that are touching their own charging station, just keep distance, keep away from them, don't touch them, because if you touch them and they're touching their own charging station, that robot is going to be considered docked and engaged. So you're basically going to give them a free RP essentially.
Yeah. The other part of that as well is, even though you can touch it during teleop, probably don't want to, because you're technically in your opponent's community.
Yep.
So if anyone touches you, there's a lot of fouls that you're risking.
Exactly.
There. Yeah.
And
So
I think
probably
that'll be a
just
common
never
one
want to
this year.
touch it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So now that we're talking about zones, the next question I want to ask is, how do the protected zones work? Give us a high level overview. We've touched on it a little bit. Where aren't you allowed to go? And like Matt just kind of touched on it, like what can you do in these zones and what can't you do?
Oh, you can take this, Matt. Go for it.
Oh, I was just going to go over the easy part. If you're in an opponent's zone, you can't touch your opponent, right? So if any part of your robot is in one of their zones, you really don't want to touch or be touched by one of your opponents. That's really like the overall rule. And there's a couple of nuances there. I don't know, Rishi.
But right, and the rule even says like it doesn't matter who initiates contact, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
So just stay clear.
So, yeah, G207 is that one. It's gonna be a big one that we see a lot this year.
But hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Hopefully
Because people
not.
are watching First Canada Live and they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to stay away from these zones."
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just stay out of them, but stay away from them too, right? Because if you're right on the edge of it, you're really playing riskily, right? Even if you don't intend to go in that zone, if you do end up in the zone, it can still be a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Rishi, were you going to give an example of something, or?
Yeah, I was just gonna point out with Matt's explanation specifically. It is if you are in your opponent's zone. So that's like I believe the rule says something like right of way. So it's like if you touch your opponent while they're in their own zone, that wouldn't be a violation. It's more if you're in the zone itself.
Yeah. So red can be within red zone partially. And if they touch blue who's outside of the red zone, blue does not get a penalty. But if blue is in the red zone and they touch a red robot, then you get a penalty.
And maybe at the drivers' meeting, maybe will be a little bit of a demo on this, maybe?
Absolutely.
That'll be great.
Yeah. This is always I mean, we understand like the field, it looks massive, you know, in the videos and everything. But once you start adding the field elements and once you start introducing robots, it's difficult to design a game where these protected zones aren't going to be close enough for some weird interactions to happen. So we'll definitely do a demo for the teams to understand better.
Much appreciated. Another question for you is, the manual has 3 words in there that are used a lot in similar contexts. Maybe you want to explain the difference between momentary, continuous, and repeated, specifically in the context of the first robotics competition. So not the Webster's definition.
Or Urban Dictionary for that matter. Yeah.
It's stressful.
I mean, I'll stick to the first manual. Basically, if it's a pretty good way to remember this. For momentary, it's the shortest of the duration, and the first manual accounts that as 3 seconds or less. For continuous violations, they're looking for 10 seconds, approximately like that. And then for repeated violations, anytime it says if repeated, you get a different penalty. The head referees and the referees will be looking for any rule that's violated more than once within a match. And the manual has been pretty good this year about highlighting these very clearly. And they're also very clear about if certain rules are violated, that we will give a verbal warning, followed by a different violation if it happens within a match or if it happens within the tournament as well. So be sure to read those rules very carefully as well, because we don't like handing out penalties and cards and wave flags, but we're just trying to make sure everyone plays a clean game.
We like to wave flags before the handshake because we play Kanon's waving flag.
That's true.
I'm just turning everything into a musical reference at this point now, you know?
Yeah.
A rule that comes up often is the pinning rule. And it's slightly changed over the years. So, you know, for everyone, one of our great head referees give a concise explanation of the pinning rule.
Who wants to do this one?
Actually, I'll pass it to Matt. Yeah, because you had a good point today.
So pinning is a red robot keeping a blue robot from moving, or vice versa, right? And in past years, it's had to be against a field element like a wall or some sort of structure or something. One of the big changes this year is that there's no language requiring that this year. So contact with the red robot against a blue robot that's keeping the blue robot from moving can be a pin anywhere on the field.
So an open field pin, like a T-bone, is now a pin?
That's how I would read the rule. It says, I have it right here. I'll read it out for you. Preventing the movement of an opponent robot by contact, either direct or transitive. That's it. There's a parenthetical there that says such as against a field element, but it doesn't require it to be against a field element.
Interesting. Okay, so see, this is why we have to read the manual specifically.
That's right.
That's you can see the silence from me. That's
I guess that would work in such a sense if someone had like tank drive and you were right in front of them, that would be a pin then because you're stopping them.
Yeah, and part of it is a bit of a judgment call from the ref's perspective of whether that robot actually can move and is choosing not to. Right. So if you're in front of a tank drive robot, they may still be able to drive backwards.
Right.
That wouldn't be a pin. If you had some other way of hitting a tank drive robot and they couldn't move either direction, then that could be a pin.
There's some interesting ramifications there that are, I think, beyond the scope of this call. But that's super interesting. We are running out of time here, but I want to ask each of you to give teams one piece of advice for how to handle interactions with the referees.
Yeah, for sure. And
let me start it off as a non-referee. Okay. The referees that we have here in Ontario they're almost all first alumni. They have been in your shoes before. They have been drivers, they have been drive coaches, they have been strategists. And their number one priority, they are not about enforcing or being strict or draconian or anything like that. Their number one priority is to ensure that you are having a positive event and a positive experience and an inspirational experience. So these referees, they are your friends. They are here to work with you and to make everything as fair as possible. So if you do have a concern or you're upset about something, you're frustrated about something, come to them. The question box is there. Ask a question, and I know they will always remember their gracious professionalism, and I know all of you will remember that as well. Just like, you don't need to be intimidated by them. You don't need to feel nervous. These are your peers. Like, they were in your shoes just a few years ago. You know, like Rishi was coaching on Einstein in 2019. You know, it's very, very recent. These people, they're some of the best people you'll meet. You know, Rishi, Pradeep, Mickey, Matt, Jeff Hagan, they're just like fabulous people. They're there to help. So just remember that. But that's my piece as a non-ref, as just a person who stands outside the question box and manages the line there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you, Karthik, for that. And thank you for managing the question line. Really appreciate that, always.
I've always wanted to be a bouncer.
Yeah. Fitting role for him. But yeah, just again, echoing whatever Karthik said, we're there to make sure people have a fun time, an exciting time. And everyone's put in a lot of hard work over the last 6-7 weeks. And we want to make sure that you get a chance to show off your hard work in a fair manner. So if you have any questions or concerns, the head referees will be wearing a yellow jersey, the only one in the arena, hopefully, by the field at least. I know when 50-24 competes, there'll be a lot of yellow jerseys everywhere.
Sorry.
But yeah, bring your questions. Send one student to ask us a question. You can have a mentor or somebody listening in from a slight distance quietly, but we'll be more than happy to talk to you guys and, hopefully resolve any doubts you may have.
Matt, Rishi, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say don't be afraid to ask questions. Like we're more than happy to clarify things that happened in the match. It's not like you have to come with specific knowledge of anything or anything like that. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask us questions. And I guess one thing to add on to Bernie's thing is actually there is a new change to the rule set that you can, usually it is that only one student is allowed in the question box for a team, but now you can bring a silent observer as well, whether it's another student or a mentor. So
yeah, and honestly, a big note for the rookies as well. I know one of my first years head reffing in 2014. It was very eye-opening, right? Like you have a lot of these students and mentors who worked so hard to like get their team up and running, and they don't really know in depth. They don't have a lot of in-depth knowledge of how to do these things or how events work, and just come up and ask questions. If you are a rookie team member that's listening in right now, please make your way to the field after load-in. If you just want to have a chat with us, we'll be more than happy to like answer technical or non-technical questions to the best of our abilities and give you guys a hand to get up and run.
Awesome. Thank you so much, head referees. Thank you for being here. Thank you for volunteering, everything you do, making these events great. I am so excited for Newmarket and Georgian this week. I can't wait to see all of it. I know, Rishi, you're in Newmarket. Praneet, you're in Newmarket. Aaron, you're going to be watching webcasts at home.
Absolutely.
Matt, you're going to be watching webcasts at home, I'm assuming.
That's right. Yeah.
Matt, are you coming up to Ontario, though, for something?
I am. Yeah.
Yes!
I'll make an appearance at FOPSI.
Oh, the first Ontario Provincial Championship.
Mhm.
There we go.
That's
That's
right.
going to be a good time.
Yep.
Thank you, folks. That was great. And everyone in the audience, thanks for a fabulous show. We had a lot of fun. Thanks to all the teams who submitted videos. Thanks to Devilotics for coming on. We are back next week, not a 2-week gap anymore. We are back next week for recaps of the Newmarket and Georgian event. Praneet, Rishi, if you want to come on for those recaps, by the way, you can, you're welcome to do that or whatever. Cool. But we're going to be talking about all the awesome things that we're going to be seeing this weekend. And folks, if you want to watch the webcast this weekend, hop on to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/firstcanada. If you want to find out which specific webcasts are going for your event, go to the event web pages on firstroboticscanada.org. All the links will be there if you want full field or whatever, or just find it on the Blue Alliance, and it'll be there too. So everyone, stay safe, get ready for some snow and some great robot action this weekend. I absolutely cannot wait, and we will see everyone soon. Bye, folks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.